Mighty Thor grabs the snake firmly by its tongue, lifts his hammer high to strike, and soon his work is done.
Tell me, how did you get into music?
I think I used a ladder. It was first thing with a ladder, and it was pushing it over and over again, desperately hoping to find some meaning in life. And that was the first sounds I believe I made. It was an accident. I was a baby. I kicked it from my cradle.
Why did you choose metal?
Metal was always a fear of mine. I have a terrible allergy to it. It burns my skin like acid. But it was also a massive appeal, this terrible, terrible, dangerous substance. This horrible, burny stuff. But in that as well, there is joy. I grew up on a farm with no other people around, only parents and animals, and there was the noises the animals made were what really resonated with me. I found that it was impossible to get to sleep at night without hearing the plaintive, sweet cry of a pig. This beautiful noise just was needed for me to be able to sleep soundly at night, and I thought that the world needs this. I cannot be the only one who needs this in their lives, and I should bring it to other people as well.
So yeah, you titled your first album "The Exorcism of Saint Judas."
Yes.
How did this name come about?
Well, actually, my favourite donkey was called Judas. I liked him dearly, particularly after he died. He was delicious. But I felt quite betrayed because after I ate him, he gave me the worst pile of shits I've ever had. And so, to cope with this terrible betrayal, I wrote that first album, like a concept album. I think it was very, very religiously themed. There was Judas and donkeys and a lot of virgin masturbation. A lot of that.
Has religion been a large part of your life?
No. I think my parents were atheists. They didn't really speak to me. They more kind of left me in a shed with the pigs and the donkeys. But from what I gather, that they didn't believe in gods or magic. I'm fairly sure. So it was an alien concept to me.
Do you think growing up among so much animal death has shaped your music?
I think definitely. I think something very important about when you do put an animal out of misery. It's a very important act to stop the suffering, and particularly when you have a dying small one, a dying child sheep called a lamb, apparently. It's very, very pacifying just to watch the fucking life fade from its eyes, throttle its fucking neck. It's a beautiful, beautiful moment to know that you're helping.
Yes. Let's talk about the drugs.
No. I don't remember a lot of that, but what I do remember was mostly bestial imagery and crying and that dead hooker who I was never officially connected to. But no.
While we're on the subject of drugs, your famous divorce with Courtney Love, how did that come about?
Well, that wasn't the drugs. I think that was mostly the church burning. That was our biggest, the biggest gap in our relationship was how she felt and I felt about church burning. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for church burning. You know, burn them down. They are terrible. But I think that she did take it too far. We didn't have to fill them with orphans. We didn't have to nail the priest's cock to the door while it was still connected to him before burning it. Oh, he screamed. And I think that was the real driving wedge between us.
I see.
I'm back. Cut that out.
Tell me about your parents. You say that you didn't see them that much growing up?
No, they were fairly, I wouldn't say neglectful, but I have 3 real memories of them. The first one was being born. Apparently, according to professionals, that's not possible, but I insist it's true. She was wearing a witch's hat and masturbating. That was my main memories. And my father, I think called Jeff. Yes, a lovely man, I think. I pretend anyway. And yes, the pigs were my real family. They were my favourites.
So what are you doing these days? You obviously you quit the band, the Seven Hellscreamers, and now, not much has been heard from you, music-wise.
No, I'm working on something very special, hidden. I can't tell you anything about it, but it's about 27 minutes long. It's a single track. It's entirely vocals, mostly growls, screams, and snoring. I've actually looped myself asleep. But yes, the band were holding me back. They wanted to bring in things like guitars and melody, and they didn't understand the bestial screaming in its purest form. Bastards.
Some will say that your music shaped a generation. How do you comment on that?
I think the only time it really shaped anything was that child who decided to carve his arm into my face. Just carved my face into his arm. I think that was the biggest time I shaped a generation. I shaped the fuck out of his arm. He doesn't have much left of it now. Other than that, I think it had a very minor effect, really.